going against Luminosity, who's in 7th. So we'll go through the map ban phase. We'll find out where we're going to actually play. There's a lot of good options here, I suppose. The only map that Luminosity has managed to win on in the recent history is Border. So, and
will that be banned? Well, TSM
surprise. Yeah, so good ban there from TSM. And also with that in mind, Consulate is TSM's best map. So
yeah, and also this is a bad map for LG in terms that they've lost it both times they played it. So overall, if it wasn't already kind of lopsided, it's certainly looking pretty lopsided now.
Yeah, this is not a great situation for Luminosity, that's for sure. I will say, Consulate did get an update, and it's somebody turned off the lights and forgot to turn them back on. So now it's really hard to see in some parts of that map. Maybe that's gonna change something, and Luminosity will be able to leverage that into a win.
Their name does relate to lighting, so
I wasn't gonna make that joke, but yes, it does.
There it is.
I was hoping that we'd just let it slip by. Who do you think's gonna win?
Yeah.
It's gonna be TSM. All right, surprise, 80%.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the most lopsided though. Was the SSG one?
There was one that was 9%, I think. So probably that one, yeah.
Yeah, there was an 89% for one team or something like that.
Yeah,
Yes.
Look, this is just looking like could be pretty unbalanced just off the maps, and I would almost give it more than 80%. I mean, TSM's undefeated, so at that point you got to get close to 100% possibility there.
So when we say undefeated, just to be clear, we mean in Pro League.
Yeah.
So we're super clear about that one.
And nearly undefeated on LAN in terms of the Invitational.
Yeah, they did really well at the Invitational. TSM is a team on a mission. They are on the mission of dominating North America. Currently, they are doing that very well. In Playdate number 8, they managed to beat their most direct competition, Dark Zero, in a 7-4. That was as close as anyone's really. I mean, no, there was a draw. There was a draw. It was in the last half of the season. Let me check to see who that was against, because I don't remember. Let's see. TSM drew against Luminosity.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. Then that's a thing.
That's who they're playing right now. So maybe we'll see something similar today. Maybe Luminosity can push it the extra one round. However, they are on TSM's best map, which is also coincidentally not a great map for Luminosity. So unless Luminosity has made sweeping changes to their Consulate, we're probably going to see this go the way of TSM. Anyway, we're going to load into the match. We got everything set up. So here we go. TSM starting on attack. Luminosity beginning on defense as we load in to Consulate.
Well, we'll see what we get for the bans here. They've been somewhat interesting today in terms of bans. The defensive bans haven't been too crazy, but we did get a Wamai and a Goyo, so shaking things up a little bit here. We have had quite a few Thatcher bans as well over time here, so will that be the case? Not as necessary here for Consulate, really. Probably not as likely, but there's a Nomad ban. That's definitely going to be encouraging some runouts, very likely, or some of these late rotates.
I mean, it's required, to be honest. Probably Capitao or Dokkaebi or something. Yeah,
there it is.
Capitao. TSM really does not like Capitao on this map. It's an operator that they typically ban out. They'll also probably ban out an Echo or a Valkyrie. I'm betting on Echo if there's anybody. There it is. And then probably because Luminosity also ban Echo and Valkyrie, they'll ban Valkyrie. I mean,
there's a good map for that.
It probably, yeah. I mean, you got to ban Valkyrie on Consulate, especially when Nomad's banned.
Yeah.
You can see they're thinking about it, though. They're thinking about it because they're like, wait, do we want to use Valkyrie to our advantage? We have defense first. Are we going to use her? Oh, the answer is no. Okay, they're not taking
close.
a risk. All right. So, all right, standard stuff here so far from both teams. I mean, if I'm looking at this, there is no change in the typical for either of these teams for who they usually ban on this map. So this is all just bog standard so far.
Speaking of bog standard, though, we're going to go to Archives Tellers first, interestingly enough.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Archive standard. Well, that's a little bit different, I suppose.
It's not unheard of, but it's definitely not that common overall.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not very common. I mean, when I'm looking at this right now, the last time Luminosity played it, they played it of 2 different matches, I think. They have played on Colors once,
Defenders, protect your bombs.
and they lost it.
Well,
So,
see how it goes.
it's not much. It's much to pull on, to be fair.
Yeah. I feel like mirror is often a big part of this particular site, just because of the way it's useful for helping hold the server side down there in archives. You really kind of need the ability to hold down there somewhat solo, because you got all the other players focusing on fighting upwards or on roam.
Well, she's probably. I think she's just gonna factor into the slowdown strategy we've been talking about, the whole 20-second meta, blah blah. You've got the mute, you've got the castle, you've got the Mira. You could just bring one of any of the operators that's going to add a layer to the defense, whether it's a Mira window or a Goyo shield or what have you. It's going to slow things down.
Well, Jarvis is going to be bringing the Pulse, and I think that's a smart choice, especially since because of the ban on the Valkyrie and the Echo, they're not bringing in IQ, because they don't necessarily need to as much, but that would help hunt him down. But you kind of know he's going to be there, right? He's going to be down in archives, throwing up C4 and telling his friends where to throw them.
Devin, you know what I just realized? There's no Jaeger or Wamai.
Wow, that's a good point.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, how did Merc just get that open so easily? Oh wait, there's nothing to stop him. That is a big oof right there for Luminosity's lineup. I mean, I understand the logic behind some of their selections, but Castle and Maestro in particular are very vulnerable now because they've not brought any of the operators that can protect them. By the way, can I just say that MIBR Buck skin on the C8 is just so beautiful. Like, I mean, just
Yeah.
look at the coloring. I don't normally like Oogle skins, or Ogle, whatever. I don't normally look at skins with such reverence. But that one is, in particular, very nice.
Definitely a good selection, decent ones from those team ones. It looks like we're getting a logic bomb call already here. They're going to try and hunt down some of these roamers, take this top floor control.
I mean, they've already got the majority of top floor control. TSM are working with a winning position. It's not fully established just yet, but I'm sure it will be. That's actually, is that... Yeah, no, and fully established top 4 control. Pojo Man's dropped into Visa. He's looking to get ready to... It's a C4 denial strategy, as you can see from Luminosity. They've got probably 3 C4s in hand, ready to deny from below. Yep, 3 C4s ready to deny from below. You can see that the pulse of Jarvis... Ooh, that's not a great C4. Hoping to get an early kill, but what he's just done is use one of his most important pieces of utility on nothing, unfortunately.
Not to mention giving away his position, which is even more important there.
Yeah, of course. 2 teammates still to deny plant, but that period of time, 50 seconds, I mean, you can make that work as TSM. You can even sacrifice 2 people, maybe. Just go for it.
I like this. I like that they're looking at potentially dropping down into archives to fight it as a distraction while the Pojo goes for the plant, so that they can't fully focus on either.
Speaking of, he's going for the plant right now. It's a fake out, though. He'll reattempt, but on the staircase, Doodle's going to win a fight against Bolo. Flash is going down yellow stairs to try and distract, but the plant, just barely stopped. What a save from Luminosity. That could have been bad. Looked like the Pulse was looking elsewhere. Ooh, Pulse does get away with his life. Oh no, that is terrible for Merc, who's a top performer for the season. Geo wins the follow-up gunfight against Doodle, and he protects the flank. Great job from Geo, but they still need to get that plant down. There's barely any time to do it. The rotation is caught there. It's a trade, but it's going to be Merc on the stick. He has to stay alive, and it doesn't look like anyone on the defense can stop him, so he will get that into a post-plant. Jarvis on low HP, Rexon on, but he's not going to be in a great clutch position. TSM post-plant can just wait this out. All they need to do is be patient. Not give away any free picks. Merc's exposed, though. Jarvis looking for the kill, but it's going to be Rexon to get the kill. He sacrifices a lot of HP to get it, though. This angle from Pojo Man's going to be really hard to challenge, and all he needs to do is wait on it to win the round. There's also Geo as well, waiting in the wings for his opportunity to shine. That's not great, Jarvis. That's really not great. Rexon's going to go in for that disable, but it's not going to work. Pojo Man's there, and he is diligent.
It was actually a pretty tight round there. There was definitely some possibility for LG to win that, especially with Jarvis living as long as he did on that pulse, able to call out tons of information. Pojo just barely not being able to get that plant down. Had he been able to get that down earlier, I think it would have been much more of a TSM round. But the fact that there's still 3 players left alive to be able to be ready for trades and things like that, plus the good angle from above, it was just such a difficult retake situation. And as you mentioned, there was lack of C4 towards the end, so they couldn't really do much without rotating up. And there are limited rotates up that were being covered. So overall, I mean, a great pushback from LG, but just there's only so much you can do. This time, at least they're going to bring a Jaeger and a Womai for console here.
Yeah, I think that's pretty obvious. You know, like the need for those operators, that is. And both of them really could have been used in that last round. Obviously, the freedom to use the projectiles and throwables however you like on the attacking side is very liberating. Not going to happen anymore, though. Now, it'll be a top 4 defense. Luminosity not trying to defend tellers again, and I think that's probably the right decision. The safer bet, you could say.
It's funny to see that, you know, with Womai and Jaeger in play, they're bringing 3 sets of flashes on the attack. So you've got 9 throwables to try and clear as much of that as possible for the 2 grenades and then the utility of Zofia and Ash.
That's just so much. Wow. Yeah, a lot to consider there.
So it's definitely going to be down to timing again with those Womai discs.
Yeah, so what he means by timing is, and Devin brought this up a while back, it was basically the longer Womai is in play, the less your throwables or projectiles are going to actually alter the course of the round, because he can throw down more of those discs. By the way, I am seriously noticing how dark it is. I don't know if you're picking up on that too, Devin, but it's like really apparent.
It's Consulate the Haunted House version.
Yeah, and in the, you know, daylight as well, somehow. I wonder what happened there. Anyway, it's done now, I guess. Well, who knows? Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it'll work to our advantage when it comes to skins blending into the walls. You know, it's entirely possible. We don't know. Let's just see how that plays out, right? The attack seems to be wanting to go on to CEO. Hojoman, I think he just wants to go in for a plant. They've established that it's here. They know if there's a C4 from below? That's the question.
And you've got Merc on connector window as well.
Yeah, so if they can determine that it's full clear, they got the Evil Eye just now. Great job to Merc. Or say, think they got the Evil Eye? They're trying to get the Evil Eye. Yeah, both of the lifelines used, I don't know if they got it. But looks like they might just go for it. They can phone call in. There's flashes to cover. And this should be a pretty easy just go for plant, as long as they've got coverage from below. We don't know if that's the case, though, if anyone's watching piano or not.
Oh, there's a Womai disc on the grenade, but still takes down the shield, even with the disc. Wasn't far enough away.
Yeah, the follow-up nade, unnecessary, but, you know, better safe than sorry, I guess. And again, we talked about how important that time factor is. Luminosity do have one roamer in the basement. Pojoman's going for the plant. The smoke is going to catch him, though. He might just die to the smoke because of the barbed wire. Doesn't seem so, though. He's going to go for the plant again. Free from the smoke. Jarvis is going to be caught by Achieved. This might actually work. Pojo is going to be able to get it. Oh, no. Rexon stops it. And Doodle with the run-out will manage to get Achieved. So this is looking even worse for TSM than it was 5 seconds ago. They also don't have control of their diffuser anymore. Phone call working out great for Geo as he's able to get Doodle after he had run out previously. Not sure why Doodle decided to linger there, but it is to his detriment. And it's his funeral. TSM now.
Go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead.
It just looks like Bolo's expecting a return to there, but because no one's actually doing it, he's actually kind of wasting time at this point that they're not using to help get a plant down.
Spotted on the spiral cam. So he's going to go over to Visa Stairs in all likelihood. Yep, there's the rotation. That will probably be red. It's expected. If you get spotted somewhere, you don't just push that place. Oh, nearly a good win there for Bolo. But he gets traded, actually. It was a win for him. He gets traded by Factor. Diffuser picked up by Geo. He could possibly get this down. Merc has to cover from Connector. I don't think it's going to happen. There's a player by Yellow Stairs. That's Rexon. He could easily stop this. And yes, indeed, he will. It's going to be Luminosity winning on the 000 as Rexon. Big play, stopping the first plant, then the second from Yellow Stairs.
Yeah, really, the run out combined with getting Pojo killed really just crimped TSM style there. I mean, they spent so much time just trying to figure out if they could go for a plant, and then they finally like, okay, we can do it. Let's go for it. And then all of a sudden the smoke, I mean, it didn't even look like it was all that much onto Pojo Man, but it was just enough to damage him. And he kind of ran into the smoke for a second there, just taking himself so low that it was really not that hard to counter him at that point. I appreciate what he was trying to do, and he did bait one death out of LG because they came to push. The Jaeger tried to push in to the door of Consulate and did get picked off by Achieved. But at the end of the day, the run out was a good trade-off of that, and Pojo dying, trying to make that plant. It just there was so little left they could do with the diffuser trapped in a compromised position, and just not enough manpower for the coverage. So overall, great pushback from LG, and then just had to wait time at that point.
I'd say the key issue for me was probably the fact that LG decided, or sorry, not LG, but rather TSM decided not to take Yellowstone. I mean,
Yeah.
how many CEO takes do we see successful when yellow stairs aren't factored in?
I mean, I understand when
can't
Mize
see
play with
many.
Jaeger, you're a little more hesitant to do that, I suppose.
Right. I totally agree with you. I think that my plus Jaeger makes yellow, well, next to impossible. But at the same time, well, then you got that's what admin office is for, I suppose. And yes, the LG was roaming by admin office, but I don't know. I mean, hindsight's 20/20, so we can speculate all we want. Ultimately, they had to make a decision in the moment, right? But I just don't see a CEO take working without taking yellow, and we saw exactly why highlighted in that round. Who was it that clutched up big when it mattered most, when the plant was going down? It was Rexon. He was able to do that because he was just left alone on yellow.
Yeah. I mean, overall, had they been able to get that plant down and had the ability to cover that run out on yellow stairs, they probably would have been fine. A retake would have been near impossible for the defenders.
Yeah,
but
probably.
Either way, like you said, hindsight 20/20. We'll see how they do in Garage here. They are going to be bringing a similar attack lineup.
So there is one roamer at the top of yellow. I want to say that's Rexon. It looks like he just wanted to make some noise and leave. And he's done that. TSM seemingly aware that the top floor is clear, so they're very assertive when it comes to establishing dominance over the angles, seeing off the rotations and such.
A little slow going as they just try and identify the positions down on the middle floor. Use that top-down control to see how far they can go down. But at least in the meantime, they're trying to cut off yellow stairs rotations.
They've done that. I mean, they've gotten the control that they need. They've pushed in to work on the two top floors. And of course, yeah, and if you're not aware, DMRs now do that. Oh, that second floor, though, working out well for Rexon as he manages to get Merc. He's going to fall back through the bathroom. Doodle actually ate some damage, not Rexon. But both of those players will fall back after wasting time and getting a kill. I've never seen
bathrooms.
Always.
That's
no. That's unfortunate. I was about to say, I thought it was like a... I guess, so we've crashed, maybe.
Yeah, it might be on our side. Oh, there we go.
Wow.
Back.
All right.
Hopefully that was on our side, too, so they were able to play, while we just weren't able to see what was happening.
Maybe calling for a rehost, maybe, or like a little bit more perplexed than they're looking right now. So yeah, it might have just been on our side. It looked like it was our side, but I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember. And anyway, what we do know is that they're still playing, they're still going for it. So we will continue on.
Well, losing Merc, definitely a big blow here, but they've still got the utility they need, at least to get the garage door open, and Pojo Man's working on that right now. Good coverage from above as well. If they could finish off Doodle and even out man count, this could go pretty well, but 30 seconds left. It's going to be tricky. They don't have smoke or anything to help with the plant push, so they've just got to hold angles.
Sun's going in here. Clear out ADSs. Get some information control. Try and blot out the enemy's information. Gas canister well placed there to stop the drop. Nice shot from Bolo after Doodle manages to get Pojo Man. There's the evil eye dealt with. Bolo's also trying to plant. Man's trying to do it all. Someone needs to support him, but it's not going to happen as his teammates fall all alongside him. Achieved now the last one. Impossible round. He can't make it happen. And Luminosity will take their second round here on Consulate.
I gotta say, smoke play is definitely working out pretty well for Luminosity. That's two plants now that have been thwarted by smokes. Just doing a great job of denying it.
I'd say the smokes have been really the star of the show here. That and honestly, the support from the rest of the team, aside from the smoke, is fantastic.
Yeah, it's definitely been really good for LG so far in this defense. Looking like they're pretty comfortable, at least on how the pushes are going to come from TSM for the most part. They're also been a little one-dimensional from TSM once it comes to pushing itself. They tend to be like, okay, we're all going to push kind of from console window, or we're all going to push from garage. That's not really flying. They really need a bit more pinch going on here. Either that or they really need to kill more players early.
Attackers need to locate
it's not happening.
bombs.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess it's probably, you could attribute that to a good read from Luminosity. We went into this thinking, well, 80% of people thought that this would be just a TSM match. And, you see those kinds of statistics and you expect it to be a stomp. Well, newsflash for today, we haven't seen a single round wasted yet. Every round that can have been played has been played so far. Now, we don't know if that's going to be reflected in this match here, but I have just...
Of course it will be.
Yeah, of course it will be. I have a strong hunch it will be. So...
10 seconds left.
So it means that it's going to be a hot competition, I'm sure. Luminosity are showing us that they've got the chops and they've practiced for TSM on this map.
Locate and defuse.
That's pretty smart.
So we're seeing Archives tell us for the second time, and as you were pointing out, last time, no Jaeger, no Wamai. They're going to go with that again. I mean, is there an adjustments they need to make, you think, based off of the last time they played this, that are going to really make a key difference?
Yeah, absolutely. A Jaeger or a Wamai. So the reason why I think that those make a difference, I'll explain, is that if you're going to bring Castle, you're going to bring Maestro, it behooves you to bring the utility that pairs so exceptionally well with those pieces of utility, Castle Barricades and the Evil Eyes. And that would be the Jaeger ADSs or the Wamai discs, either or, really.
Yeah,
I don't know.
see
I
if
mean,
that matters.
It protects them for longer. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
I mean, it means it compounds your investment. That's it.
Gotta love Castle with that super shorty now, though. Can't see enough of that.
He's honestly such a powerful operator now that he has a super shorty. Like, I mean, that's just so much utility rolled into one person. You know what I mean? It means you don't have to bring a whole other shotgun on a different operator, and you can flex your operator selection a little bit more. It's very good. I like Castle's position right now. I think it's he's definitely a very competent operator in comp siege.
Looks like he's rotating around as well to kind of prep his own Castle Barricade to be able to rotate late if needed.
So the reason the Castle Barricade's there is to allow people to play under Spiral. But you also want to be able to rotate, I guess, if you're Factor.
Bomb located by
Well, that's the nice
attackers.
thing is if you're using it for line of sight coverage, it doesn't matter how many times you hit it because that won't affect bullets hitting it. So you can have it
Exactly.
prepped for rotations and still be just as effective at protecting line of sight.
Yeah. So, low going here for TSM. Like, they're paying into the 20-second meta. Haven't really accomplished much other than top 4 control, and that was given to them. Luminosity did not contest it, I don't think. So, anyway. Evil Eyes spotted out in the site. Control still being, controls, yeah, they still have it on the top 4. I'm checking again, and it looks like, yes, they still have top 4 control. I'm not really sure what they're planning on doing after it. You saw last time they were on the site, they were trying to set up for a downstairs take. It didn't work out for them. Oh, here comes Merc, and bad timing. He was caught by Hyena, but Hyena is equally caught by somebody in Visa. It looks like it's going to be achieved. He'll finish off Hyena with that nade. Pretty easy kill for him there, but it cost him a teammate. In here, Doodle's going to see this. He's going to challenge Bolo and actually win that fight, but all the while, Pojoman's trying to plant. It's going to be C4'd, but it's a fake. And oh, look at that! TSM getting the kills on the planter. Oh, gee. What a reaction from Factor. There's not enough time now. The plant's not going to happen, and Chief has to get 2 kills, and he's not going to happen. And that was just an absolute mess from both teams.
You got to say now that Factor prepping the rotation definitely helped a little bit if he was planning to use that to get around. If you prepped both of them, but oh man, they were not prepared. The knifing. I mean, who gets knifed planting?
Barely saw any of it because it happened so quickly.
Yeah,
We saw. Okay, let's recap that real quick, because when it actually happened, it was. I'll be honest with you, I completely lost half of it. When it actually happened, what happened was we saw TSM 3-man go into tellers. They point their guns down. One starts planting. That's Pojoman. He starts planting, but he fakes it out. Now, actually, in hindsight, that was a bad idea, but he faked it out because he heard the C4. The person throwing the C4 died before he could detonate it, though, because of the other 2 people that were in tellers with him, looking down. Then, because he faked it out, it wasn't post-plant when it mattered. And because it wasn't post-plant, that last guard, as we saw, had to stick that plant and got come up on by behind. Because, like you said, the castle prepped the barricade.
Well, that was definitely not the result TSM wanted, and so far LG have shown that they're pretty decent on that bomb site, even if they didn't win it every time. So it's interesting. Again, you know, the lack of ability to catch throwables and still managing to make that work, dude. It's just the inability of TSM to successfully attack the bottom floor.
5 seconds remaining.
We'll see lobby for the first time here, though, for them.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb.
We haven't really been seeing lobby played very much, as Tellers has kind of filled that gap. Tellers has seemed to be the preferred site, at least for Luminosity so far. Who is, by the way, really giving TSM a run for the money on TSM's really their best map.
Yeah, I mean, that also means they've shown a lot, and so that might help a little bit.
That's true, yeah. This is a easy to research map when it comes to TSM, and I'm guessing Luminosity has done their research based on how they're playing right now.
To be fair, though, side switch could matter a lot. We could see TSM just go, you know, full tilt once they get on defense and win every single round.
Absolutely.
Definitely,
we'll see.
Definitely a little bit slow on these attacks, though.
Yeah. For now, that's going to continue. TSM not really showing any special level of speed in this round so far. That was a nice setup there. Wall time nade from Achieved, but there's no one to catch it.
So far, this is still looking decent for Luminosity. Not a scratch on them. Not a ton of map control for TSM yet. They're still just poking at holes. I feel like so many times TSM are just looking for LG to give them some picks early. And it's just not happening.
Yeah, I think that's probably what LG is studied up on. Whoa, is Smirk just gonna... He's just gonna go in. Yo, gunshots to cover. 2 players going for gunshots to try and cover the sound of the repellent, and it worked, but Hyena's just better! A beautiful shot there from Hyena. The follow-up from TSM's not going to get ill, and Hyena persists and gets his second kill, this time on Debolo. He's just better! Pojoman's in, though, on piano, able to do some damage, and he is now the superior player, having gotten the first kill and downing Hyena in bathroom. Good position here, good control. He's going to be able to plant if he gets the diffuser, but it's currently down, which means somebody needs to pick it up. D4 from below. Unsuccessful. That's big. That's big. It could have been saved, and it could have stopped a plant later in the round. Geo will finish off Hyena. Pojoman starts going for that plant. There is a stop situation here if Jarvis peeks and wins the fight, but he's not going to do it. Marks come out, but he just can't land the shots. Neither can Rexon until just now. Pojoman finally finished off, but it might not matter. In a post plant, this is very winnable for the attack. They just need to play this smart. Control of main lobby, though, makes this winnable for defense as well. Doodle 6, but it doesn't work out as Geo gets him. Achieve now, the last one outside on the window. He's going to have to go and repel. He doesn't have a choice. Jarvis going to stick it. And there's Achieve to win the round. TSM. A close one, but still, well played.
It's definitely risky to place that between the 2 windows like that because of the fact, you know, you pretty much have to go on repel to be able to counter it. I mean, yeah, there's not necessarily a great spot, but if you put it directly in front of the window, it's a little, they have to long arm it a little bit more. But hey, I mean, it worked in the end. Is just, that was very, very close. The difficulty, the problem you have with, if you have to repel it, is you need someone to cover your door then, right, from those runouts or even jump outs from the other windows. And it gets tricky. But you know what? They pulled it off in the end, mostly thanks to Pojo's efforts. Not only getting in, getting some shots, getting some kills, but also getting the plant down. That was definitely tricky. He did die afterwards. Unfortunately, just couldn't watch all the angles at once. But just sticking a plant down into piano like that, well done on his part, especially after his entry. I liked what they tried to do on the entry under the bathroom with the recovering the repel. But man, Hyena is definitely, he's definitely been one of the strong players on LG lately, as I was mentioning in the pre-match.
Yeah, that would have been a complete collapse of the defense if it weren't for Hyena. Because, yeah, TSM, I mean, 2 people were shooting through the windows on the middle floor to cover the sound of the repellent. And I don't think Hyena even knew that that repellent is happening. He just reacted. And like I said, in the moment, he was just better. No, granted, Pojoman had an amazing round of himself, of his own. And he ended up doing the most work, getting 2 kills and planting the diffuser. It's impressive all over the place. This has been a really interesting match, and I mean that as interesting, like truly in this time, because I did not expect this to go to be as close as it's being right now.
Yeah, this is definitely going pretty well for Luminosity. Like I said, side switch might hurt them. This is the last round they get on defense. But so far, their defenses, despite kind of being sometimes a little unorthodox, seem to be working. And that to me, makes me think they really are trying to look to counter-strat TSM and also burn a lot of time on TSM. Make sure TSM don't get any early kills that they have to work to get into the map without having to fight anyone. And just make sure that they're, falling more into that 20-second meta. This case, though, they've got the garage door open early, which is good. It's good on Pojo Man to make sure to do that as quick as possible. So they have time to play with. They are managing to get some intel on some of the players' positions as well. They know that that shield on top of the box is going to be important, but there's no one playing pipes at the moment. Try to clear the shield, but get shot doing it.
I know that there's a Thatcher in play, but once again, a Jaeger and a Wamai, both of them missing. And that's really bad, but Merc being downed is really, really good. Hyena with the bullet hole through the shelf in the kitchen is going to give his team an HP advantage. Merc will be picked up, but still, he's unlikely to win many gunfights moving forward. Yes, as I want to say again, the lack of a Jaeger or a Wamai. I mean, a Wamai, if you're worried about Thatcher, bring a Wamai, because you can throw his discs whenever you want, late even. Looks like it's going to be a rush strategy for TSM. They're not, fully ready for it, I guess, but looks like they'll be rotating 2 players, possibly. Maybe a double pincer through yellow and the garage. They're not going to jump ahead, because they don't need to. They've got half the round still. But
definitely jockeying for positions here.
Yeah, it could very easily be a push in through garage. As you can see, Luminosity, they have that mirror window in security, but that's... And they've got Doodle and Piano, but that's about all they have, really, to stop this push. I'm curious.
The overview of Marcio.
Sophia. Well, the top down is very good. You've also got Rexon in the bathroom. Doodle's going to win the fight against Merc. That's huge. That means vertical control is maintained for the defense. And the collapse in through the garage is going to be halted as a result. Hyena also picking up big kills. There's from the back of White, Rexon trying to hold on to garage. Achieved and Geo are contributing to their team, but at this point, it's just a salvage effort. It might not be enough to get the win. Luminosity, 3v2, and full control of their own site. They just need to wait. We come down to the last 30 seconds or so. A little bit of damage done to Rexon, but not enough to matter. A second nade will do more damage, but still not much. Not enough to matter. Rexon, a beautiful shot onto Achieved. Last attacker isolated, and Doodle from above will get that kill. Big round from Luminosity, but Doodle in particular. I would say that all hinges on him winning the fight against the Zofia on that window. If he had died, vertical control would have gone to the favor of the attack, and that would have been a very different result.
Yeah. Also, Hyena doing a great job. And then the Vigil in the cafeteria as well. The cafeteria was a bit of a death trap, it seemed, trying to fight it. They just really struggled to deal with it. They had no flank coming around from behind. It was all just, let's try and win those gunfights. But as you saw with bullet holes from Hyena, they were at the advantage that whole time. Not to mention you've got the grenades coming in and Vigil just dodging them. So we'll see how things go with side switch, but overall, a great half for LG. 4-2 on by far the best map for TSM. See if they can pull it off on attack. You never know.
So
might be a. Gotta love those delays.
Oh yeah. It's difficult for sure. I mean, and it's weird. It's mostly on me, but yeah, it happens.
Bomb located by attacker. 10 seconds remaining.
I caught him. You guys can't see.
This game of talk.
I caught him right before he was about to talk. Yeah. So what I was gonna say is we're going to the basement here. TSM now on defense. I think that TSM is probably gonna be more comfortable on defense. I mean, I'm basing that solely on their capacity to win on Consulate and the capacity that they've shown us so far, because it hasn't been as much as we expect, but with Luminosity being up 4-2. And so I just expect that to be it's all in the reserve tank. We'll see it come out here in the second half, I imagine.
Well, at least we'll see Bolo bringing Jaeger, so there's a start for TSM.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that'll do some work. I don't know, but of course, but probably. Well, he's a very consistent player, generally speaking, when it comes to TSM.
Yeah.
I'd say that's probably his mainstay thing, is consistency. It's not necessarily his breakout performances or anything like that, but his ability to consistently contribute round by round.
For someone who was relatively, new to Pro League in the scene and all that stuff too, that's a pretty big thing.
I don't know if he's new anymore. I mean, how long has he been in? Like half a year, 2/3 of a year, maybe a year now. I don't know.
I guess. I mean, Temple Storm and EU United might have more new players, but some of them might have been in Challenger League for a while as well.
And honestly, time really flies, and so it all turns into a bit of a blur. So stuns to clear out the potential ADSs. There are ADSs. TSM bring those, and then you'll get the Evil Eye with the Lifeline. Doodle's looking to contest Piano. There is a player in Piano, I believe. That's achieved, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, it's achieved. He's doing his best to hold on to this. He could actually have just died there, but the barricade's not fully broken. Very dangerous position for Achieved to be playing right now.
At least we have the barricade improvements to the game.
Oh yeah, that's such a welcome improvement. People don't know if they just started playing. They just don't know old barricades. Jackaltrack's gonna tell Doodle exactly what he already knew. Jarvis will protect Doodle by killing Merc, who is, I believe, trying to run out on Doodle. So that's really good bait there from Luminosity, and kill up now because of it.
At this point, they're just really trying to hold each other off. There's only 45 seconds left for LG to attack.
Yeah, not a lot to work with if you're Luminosity. Ooh, bad timing there for Jarvis, and Bolo will shut him down. Doodle's still playing with his food, but he is going to have to spend elsewhere as the Jackal. Braxton making an entry over by Yellow Stairs. Pojo Man's going to get Doodle. Finally, somebody will shut him down on that. Well, he's off repel now, but Factor's going for the plant. He'll be stopped, put on low HP. He has to start it all over again, and he's going to be down by Bolo. No plant to speak of for Luminosity. With very little time, they're going to have to get this going, but it's not going to happen. Rexon now in a 1v4. Still a 1v4. Can he hit the shots? That's the question. The answer is no. Bolo will hit his, and TSM take their first defensive round.
Well, there we go. The defense so far doing quite well. I mean, it might change here, but TSM looking a little more confident on defense than they did on attack for sure. Some nice baits by Luminosity overall, some decent plays, but they also, much like TSM, got pretty stalled out in their inability to actually push anything. It seems to be a big problem for both teams. As you said many times, we're in the 20-second meta, and it seems to be a factor on this map. I mean, I know this is a map where historically defenders can kind of run around pretty willy-nilly sometimes, especially with a lot of aggression, especially if they have, the black eyes, which they don't, thankfully. But it's just the attackers, they don't seem to have much utility that's really helping them push into any particular area. Obviously, if they had capped out, for example, that'd be one thing that helped. That's banned. So, I mean, I think a lot of the things that would, change this, shake it up a little bit more have been banned out. So teams are just trying to play careful, trying to get whatever intel they can, trying to get advantageous angles. We're just not seeing a lot of great pinches or positions where they're able to push defenders out of areas where they need to be. Even bathrooms sometimes are difficult to deal with here. We'll see Merc actually putting a window inside the bathroom, but probably not going to be the one to play it as he's rotated out. There will also be some drone denial with the Mozzie and Bolo on that Vigil. So we'll see if that slows down Luminosity even more, and it just becomes, again, a time advantage for TSM. Time's definitely been a big factor in this match.
It certainly has. I mean, through the whole day, time has been a big factor, to be honest with you. We're going to get to... I think we're... Speaking of time, I think we're probably going to be casting every single round that we can today, Devin. Do we have any rehosts? I don't think so, right?
We
had
one.
We had one.
For the sound bug, yeah.
Yeah. Big day from North America. Going the distance. Going for speed.
That's right.
Not hitting that mark, though. Not the... that actually doesn't work. I was trying to make a reference, but it doesn't work in the context because...
You're definitely not going for speed.
You're definitely very slow. Very slow. Luminosity trying to take top floor. See what they can manage here. They have had some of the faster attacks, actually, overall, I'd say.
So far, though, they haven't managed to get anyone from TSM into positions they can take out. They are at least Jackal tracking them.
I feel like Jackal's going to be more and more relevant as we get deeper into this, like, dying seconds of the round meta.
I think Dokkaebi, it becomes a little more useful the way like Laxing was using, because you get the information potentially on all of the players as opposed to just one at a time.
Huckabee and Jackal, man. I mean, you could bring both of them for all I care. I mean, the big problem is like, there's so many layers to it on the defense. You gotta bring operators that can mitigate those layers, and why not bring multiple? Depends on what the enemy team's doing, really.
Yeah, very much so.
Depends on what the enemy team's bringing in terms of operators. Nothing magical happening so far. 2 whole minutes of droning out and trying to get control of the top floor for the attack. Standard stuff. Nothing special. They've got to be meticulous on this clear, or they risk getting flanked. They least expect it. Speaking of, I think someone's actually just going up ascending staircase somewhere. Maybe it was Bolo. I'm not really sure, but I'm pretty sure someone on TSM was just getting up to the top of Spiral, I want to say. And, you know, maybe Visa. Maybe both? Yeah, it's both. It's Spiral and Visa. I'm pretty sure they're retaking from both of those locations. Yeah, I think that is happening. Bolo top of Visa. Somebody else tops will probably achieve. And that's going to be a retake of the top floor. Bolo gets shut down in that attempt. But there's the second player coming from Spiral. That might not be known by Rexon, who could get eliminated, but all the while the plant is going down. Factor going for it, Doodle to cover. This is working, but Factor got off. That was ill-advised, and because of that, Dio's gonna be able to stop him. Dio doesn't get the second though. Does a little bit of damage to Doodle, but it doesn't matter. Someone's got to plant this diffuser right now. Pojo Man's gonna stop it from above. Big plays from Pojo Man. He has to do it again though, immediately. He's got the information, and what a play. What a position. That's why you go for that double retake on the top floor instead of just the one player. TSM salvaged the round.
Well, that was definitely a 20-second meta kind of round, but with a great retake setup, rather than TSM just playing completely passive, they saw an opening. They did lose Bolo in the process, but like you said, Pojo Man's retake position was absolutely crucial to making that work. I think the plant should have been stuck, though, absolutely. Factor pulling off that plant probably cost them that round. I mean, obviously he had a reason to do so, thought he might have been getting pushed or needed help in the gunfight. They eventually did get traded to the bathroom, but at the end of the day, Pojo was able to just shut down whatever was left.
Yeah, so the key thing there is that
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by
is
attackers.
that Pojo Man didn't jump the gun. He could have at any moment started just like rushing on his retake upstairs. Patience won out and won the round for his team. That's huge.
Well, we'll see if we see the full sweep from TSM. So far, they're flawless on their defenses, 2 for 2. They're going to go with an interesting combo here. The Pulse, Goyo, and Mozzie. Goyo for upstairs always to set up nice little line of sight shields. But they're not bringing anyone with an ACOG other than Geo, so they're not necessarily going to be playing tons of long desk contention. Sometimes you see that with Echo, for example, playing with his ACOG. But they will at least have plenty of shields. Pojo also bringing an extra shield for his team, so they will have 4. Will help them hold things off and stall a little bit longer. And, of course, bringing the Jaeger. This time it's unachieved. But they haven't really... I don't think TSM have brought a Wamai yet. So definitely not something they're super keen on just yet, at least not on this map. But hey, it's been working regardless, so...
Activating drone. Code ready.
Top floor defense here for TSM. Man, you know the worst part about all this, Devin, is that the day's been so exciting that, you know, these rounds, they keep getting so close and so intense. It's just so much action, you know?
It's like exciting and exhausting.
It's almost too much.
Props to the team. A cold shower after this is over.
Oh, probably, yeah. Now, in this round, top floor defense here for TSM. They've clearly been doing better on their defense than their attack. TSM, I mean, of course. And that's kind of like, well, I guess this is what we expected.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes from here, though. It's just 4-4 right now, so there's no one's like on the precipice of match point or anything like that just yet.
No. Clearing out the ADS to prep for the nade. The nade will go in, caught by an ADS. I heard it get caught by an ADS. The EMP was misplaced, I suppose. That's my only guess there. There's still one EMP for Hyena, so he could clear it out again, but saw the nade go out. I did not hear it detonate. Means it got caught. Yeah, in there.
Oh,
Or it was, or Or Achieve is juggling, so it might not all be on the Thatcher. It might be that Achieve was juggling his ADSs.
Probably, very likely. Usually for those top floor plays, happens a lot.
ADS cleared this time for sure. But Achieve persists in CEO. It's not CEO. Not many people will play in that closet. Rexon making his way in. Top of yellow. Good information control. No one playing by Big Desk or Vase or even in Bathroom for the defense right now. That's actually a really lackluster hold. But not lackluster necessarily. It's a far back hold. They might be just going for a retake strategy. We do know that they're trying to hold downstairs. They've got 2 people downstairs. Merc is one of them. He's gone, but he's refragged by Bolo. And Bolo might get the second one. Yes, he does. A beautiful shot. What a lineup there. And the control from downstairs continues for TSM. That means they have 1 C4 from below and can deny a plant later in the round. I say later in the round. There's not much of a round left to go. Rexon and Factor have to rush their way in. They don't have a choice.
10 seconds to go.
They're unlikely to meet success in this endeavor. Here goes, though. Factor on the rush in. He's the spearhead. Follow-up from Rexon gets nothing, at least so far, and no one hits their shots. TSM farming potatoes, as is Rexon, and the round will end on 0-0.
Is it just me, or did the sound, the way it slowed down towards the end there, make it look like that was just a slow motion fail? Like, just missing all those shots. That's unfortunate. That must have felt like a slow-mo fail to LG, unfortunately. You know, you're saying they were playing pretty far back, and honestly, that worked out because then he was unable to fight them at that range. Great job from Pojo as well, stalling out the first push attempt with that smoke, forcing them back down yellow stairs before they decided to push back up because they couldn't get any kills. Just overall great delay strategy, but the plays for the trades and the 2 kills from Bolo downstairs and Piano absolutely helped because they had a nice man advantage because of those kills, because they refused to give up that control downstairs. Yeah, they weren't necessarily playing to heavy in the bathroom or anything, but it worked the way they were playing it, so kudos to them. Again, flawless defense here so far from TSM. So far, they're doing, in some ways, a little bit better than we saw from LG on the defense, and that's why they're at 5 now instead of 4. Very close, on the precipice, as I said, of that match point. Me going downstairs down to the garage again.
It would be weird to see Luminosity beat TSM on their map, but, you know, definitely, I mean, not impossible.
10 seconds remaining.
Definitely not impossible. And, you know,
5 seconds remaining.
a lot of things could happen in matches like these. And right now we're seeing Luminosity, if anything, putting up a very impressive fight against TSM. And, you know, it's weird to say it like, you expect TSM to win, but, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it would be weird to see that their final, or their first loss on Pro League this season to be on their map, on their best map against LG.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, in each Pro League season, you play every other team in your region twice. So, you know, we're only 2 play days into the second half where you get the rematches. But, yeah, I mean, it just would be shocking to see Luminosity. I mean, to be fair, Luminosity is the team that managed to draw TSM. They're the only ones who have drawn TSM. They're the only ones who've taken a win away from TSM. They haven't beaten TSM, but they haven't been beaten by TSM either. So, in this rematch, it wouldn't be crazy to see the draw, but it would definitely be crazy for me, at least, to see TSM take this loss. So I'm curious to see if Luminosity's got it in them. I'm not going to count them out, but it would be different for sure. Their awareness of TSM's play on Consulate has been proven, and that is a serious advantage to have. And you were right, Devin. There's a lot of VODs to review when it comes to TSM on Consulate.
Well, so far though, you know, we're still at least, you know, a round and a half or so away from being done with this match. So anything could happen. Could even see the second draw come out from Luminosity against TSM.
Yeah.
Though I don't know if a tiebreaker will matter much because I don't think these two are going to be tied at the end of the season.
No, they're not. Luminosity currently finds themselves in 7th place, if I'm not mistaken. TSM is in 1st, and they have almost fully locked in that 1st place. If they win this in the next match, it'll be pretty hard for people to catch up to them. That was an EMP hit by the Habana. That actually might have gone the wrong way. That could be a wasted EMP. Since he threw the second one, I'm guessing it was a wasted EMP. Unfortunate, but it happens. Remember, this is a basement defense here. So Luminosity have managed to get control of the top 2 floors, but that's it. Bolo's setting up for the retake. We know he's gonna go for it. He went for it the last time they were here. Not here exactly, but I think it was the middle floor. He and Pojo went for the retake. You expect him to try it again. Look at the time though, guys. Look at that. 20 seconds or so left in this round. What does Luminosity have to execute on? Almost nothing. Garage is open, but they're not even playing it. They're going for a full vertical attack, and I don't know if that's really going to work out great for them. It's all going to come down to the collapse. Here comes the fiasco. Bolo picks up 2 early on. Gio and Bolo shut down though. Here's the back and forth. It's 2 on 2 on 2. Jarvis the last one alive, and he doesn't accomplish anything on the yellow staircase. TSM will take the round.
Well, there we go. Now on to that match point. TSM guaranteeing that 1 point to keep drawing their lead out in Pro League. And LG, so far, yet to have a successful attack. So now, essentially, we have just as many successful defenses for TSM as LG has had. If you can get 1 more for TSM, that's it. That's it for the match. But just watch. Watch us come to the draw now all of a sudden. For LG to just suddenly figure it out now that they've done all the bomb sites at least once. We're going to go to lobby, though. Now, last time that double retake that you were mentioning did help be able to defend this successfully. Doubt we'll see a repeat of that again, but we almost did that last round. That was, again, though, time management. Really, that 20-second meta you're talking about, just continuing to repeat itself on this map. It's not even that big of a map, to be honest. I mean, it is 3 floors, and that does hurt a little bit. But it's the way that these stairs are placed all over the map, and the ability to rotate around pretty consistently. Because, most of the actually, all of the stairs go up all 3 floors. A lot of maps that have 3 stairs, at least one of them only goes between 2 of the floors.
10 seconds to go.
So, let's see if Bolo can continue to delay with his Vigil. Doing a good job of that. Plus, they have the Mozzie again. No mute to combine with, but this is the lineup they've been bringing pretty effectively. They also get the bulletproof camera from Bolo to come in addition to the Evil Eyes that Gio's bringing. Gio playing a pretty aggressive spot there on the hatch, but if he has the bail, if he can just open up the hatch as needed and drop, if he wants to play that very aggressively. Well, see, looks like he's sticking right now. There we go, free kill out of that. Oh, it wasn't even from Gio, but it was traded by Hyena. Bolo might have just gone for a run out even, I'm not sure. But yep, looks like I see the dead body outside, so possibly. But either way, he is now dead.
That was probably one of the fastest engagements we've seen so far today. Earliest engagements, I guess I could say. And only resulted in 1 kill for each team, so it's, it's not the end of the round or anything, but don't know. I'd say for Luminosity, it's actually much worse. Bolo is, of course, going to be a huge factor, but so is Doodle. And the most important thing to note here is Luminosity's on attack. They're fighting on the back foot, being that TSM is on a match point. So it's just not a great situation for Luminosity to find themselves in. Oh, here comes the entry from Rexin.
Well, advantage TSM right now.
Merc
and with
takes
the time
that kill.
the way it is. Yep.
It's a big kill, and yeah, like you said, with the time where it is right now, half the round still go. Luminosity's still got some room to wiggle in here, but they don't have a good platform to stand on, and that being their man disadvantage. They're trying to take control of top floor. I think this has been red, and it will be low. Lost Pojo, man. Big win there for Jarvis, and he's going to finish off Pojo, man. They should be able to get control of the top floor off of that. Of course. Gio's trying to retake. He's the only one with full HP on the defensive side. This is dangerous and a huge win.
Oh,
It
no.
could work out too. Oh, bad miss there. And he's going to actually lose the follow-up. Jarvis just sprints around. LG now suddenly in full control of the situation as the last 2 TSM members are on low HP. The question is, when will the collapse happen? It looks like LG is setting up to take in through the main door, but when will that happen exactly? Slow going here. LG not trying to throw their lead. C4 denies the plant. That's huge. Factor gone. Now a 2-on-2. Hyena still has the HP advantage over both of these defenders, but that might not matter depending on positioning. Mark's coming out inside of the main lobby. Hyena not read well by Merc. It's known that there's one above here. Oh, such a nice try. LG will take the round, though. A beautiful recovery.
Yeah, overall, just a lot of individual little fights. It was really just a big bummer Geo missed. I mean, he had the opportunity in the bathroom. Had he been a little more trigger happy, I suppose, he might have been able to get that kill, and that possibly could have changed the trajectory of the round. Great C4 kill to try and deny the diffuser, though, but nonetheless, we might be going this full distance. Well, we are going the full distance, I guess, either way, right? Because that's all we needed was that one round, and we are now going the maximum amount of rounds. So here we go. Woo! Will it be a draw? Again, the second draw for TSM from the same team. Or will it be a TSM getting it together? That was their first loss on defense, though, and that was still a pretty close one. Could have been a win, but just a few lost gunfights and low HP, ultimately costing them. They're going to try lobby again, though. They're going to double down on that. I think they've won it before. You know, either way, they've won all of their sites, so it's whichever one they decide to play, they know they can win.
Oh. Middle floor for the last attempt at a win. I mean, it would be kind of fitting. I mean, you said it earlier, and I'll say it again. It would be kind of fitting, I guess, if the team that drew them in the first half drew them again in the second half. That's Luminosity. The only team that's taken points away from TSM so far. Guess we'll see if they take points away from them again.
Totally possible. It doesn't hurt TSM so much at this point, just because they're so far ahead. But it certainly would be nice for LG.
Yeah, it really does. That's a good point. It actually doesn't really matter for TSM. Every little bit is not the end of the world, considering how well they did in the first half. And they've even done well in the second half, managing to beat Dark Zero earlier in the season. So, beat Dark Zero twice, actually. So that's, and that's, again, the relevance of that is that Dark Zero is their closest competitor right now, along with, it's a rush from LG. They're going in through the front door. They don't seem to care. Will it be red is the question. It seems like the answer is yes. And it's actually going to be a great job from TSM stifling the rush, leaving it in a 3-on-3. Habana trying to challenge, but she'll lose out to Bolo. Pojo Man, TSM, and Achieved and Bolo still alive. They're going to clean up shop. Jarvis, the last one, as he's got top floor control. Jarvis commonly seeming to be the last player still alive on LG. He's going to have to 1v3 clutch to get that 1 point for his team. It doesn't seem very likely, but it's certainly possible. First thing he has to do is establish control over some sort of location where he can use, or that he can use to then attack the rest of the defenders in one-on-ones. I don't think he's going to get that opportunity, though. It looks like the defenders are all setting up very passively.
At least plenty of time left to work with.
Do you think that was the right call there, Devin, to go for a rush? No?
It very clearly wasn't. There was a team kill even involved in the middle of it. You saw them stacking up. They clearly were not well equipped for that rush. I mean, hey, kudos to them on trying to end this quickly, but now Jarvis is slowing it down on us. Oh, no, sound.
Yeah, I think this is very likely. It looks like sound's gone. This is very likely to just teeter out and turn into a whole minute of watching Jarvis fill and torment.
Yeah, no point in him trying to discuss anything with his team at this point, because there's no more rounds after this.
Yep, this is it. We'll please you with some music since we don't have any game sound. But it's the last round, so we're basically all but over at this point. The only question is, will TSM take 3 points or 1 point? Jarvis is the one who has to answer that question. He's working his way into the main lobby, looking for the fight. He's got to find Jaeger first, it seems, who is positioned inside of Piano. Camera calling out, that's the evil eye. Nade goes to destroy that. Jarvis continuing to toil, continuing to reposition. He doesn't seem to know there's someone on yellow stairs. Will he check for it? Knows there's one in Piano, and there it is. TSM get their 3 points. And that marks the end of our North American play day.
I gotta admit, though, that was a lot closer than anyone expected it to be. Overall, like a pretty good match. I mean, all 4 matches, all with the distance, but they were all good matches, I would say, today. Everyone, underdog or not, put up a good fight. I think all of the top teams actually got a good challenge today, and that was nice to see.
Hey, truth be told, you don't always see that. Sometimes